There we go. Got it sorted. Hello, 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 everybody. Doing a quick impromptu stream. Thought we'd hang out a little bit, have something for some people to watch. I've got a little bit of time. Thought we could go through some, go through my bags, talk a little bit about them again. Maybe try a Clash practice, we'll see. I'm on this mouse and key, and it's not usually what I play on, but it's alright. Just a quick little stream. Nothing too long, nothing too crazy. I'll repost the VOD on the channel in the Discord once we're all caught up. There we go. Okay, so we should be situated now. So I saw a lot of talk in the chat about bags. So I figured I'd go over them. So the nice thing, for those that don't already have 15 bags, when you have 15 bags, it'll let you cycle between the 15th and the first one. I don't think it lets you do that until you have all the bags maxed out. Highly recommend that. But also start from the beginning. I actually think I kind of start from Hot Streak as my beginning. I don't know why, but bag number 15, aka bag number 1, whatever. Classic Hot Streak bag. This is for most of the par 4s and 5s. I don't really use the par 3 one that I think it was Gopher and a couple other people use with Cyclotron. You could take Meteor out and put Cyclotron to the right of Hot Streak if you'd like. But I have other arguably better par 3 bags, so it's up to you. I think it shoots a little too fast for par 3s, so point here though, gear shift usually always on the left side. That bounce reduction, best club in the game. Can't wait to get this thing elite. Best putter, I think, other than maybe Rook. I think Rook is a close second. Conspiracy, you'll see a lot of my bags where I am doubling Conspiracy almost every time. Turn my music down a little bit just in case it's too loud. There we go. But I always double Conspiracy as much as possible. Get that wind resistance down. I hate relying on Turbino balls. Doubling Maelstrom on the other side of Meteor. That bounce reduction and then Hot Streak. Great club. I'll actually use it on the first hole in this upcoming Clash. I'll show you. We'll do maybe a Clash practice or two with some of these bags. Leviathan. I feel like I messed up by powering up Levy too much. But either way, I'm doubling the bounce reduction on this one. I've played around a little bit here and there with having Conspiracy doubled. Or something very similar to the Hot Streak bag. This is a really good one too. The only reason why I double gear shift a lot of the time is just to ensure that I hit those perfects with Leviathan. But you could do the same as the Hot Streak and just swap in Leviathan in there too if you want more of like an all-rounder. If you're confident in hitting your shot, I might just go back to this. This feels better. So that's my only Leviathan bag right now. My par 3 bag that I used a lot in the early days, I haven't really used this too much anymore, especially with my high flight prowess and other par 3 bags, but this is still a good bag, especially for those that don't have clubs leveled up all the way. Steadfasting doubles the dive bomb. Dive bomb will reduce the wind a lot. Cyclotron helps with the bounce reduction. Just keep in mind this will spin like crazy, so if you do add some spin, keep it slight. Keep it a slight spin. Dive bomb's good. I don't use this one too much anymore, but sometimes. Another Leviathan bag, if you are one that, another good all-rounder. The only reason I have Cyclotron in here right now is because my Maelstrom's only a level 11, so I get a little bit more bounce reduction than I would if I just had Maelstrom in right now. But once I get Maelstrom up to Cyclotron's level of bounce reduction, I'll probably add that back. I'd probably use this one more than the other one that I showed, if I had to choose between the two. This, however, is something I'm using a lot whenever I have to use Sky Fury. If I'm not using Flashpoint and I'm worried about the wind, Sky Fury, having that dive bomb attached to Meteor, really helps cut down that wind when you drive with Sky Fury. It does not have a lot of spin, surprisingly, especially if you use like hardcore balls or something. But this is probably my go-to Sky Fury for any Sky Fury over gap needs, and it cuts down wind a lot. The reason why Meteor is also in between gear shift is just to help with that accuracy. Again, it's just easier to hit your shot when it's an 11. You could mess around with this and maybe add Maelstrom or something next to Meteor instead of gear shift, but I like to have that extra gear shift accuracy. So Sky Fury is a really good club, of course. If I'm not using Sky Fury and I prefer, and the wind's low enough, I'll opt for my Flashpoint bag. Really good for the mythicals, for some of the mythicals as well. And you can kind of choose between if you really want Conspiracy doubled or Maelstrom doubled. Might flip-flop those two here and there, but Flashpoint's a lovely bag. So these are my two. You could also swap in Explorer, and maybe if you do Explorer, you put Meteor here and Explorer right here. That's typically what I do if I use Explorer. This is just one of those wind strike bags that I opted for max wind reduction. I will almost always use a hardcore or earthball with this one. Rook, of course, gains that benefit of having steadfast, so you can actually make your putts a lot easier, a lot more easily with Rook. And since it's next to Conspiracy, I'm getting as much wind resistance as possible. But this thing bounces a lot. There's no bounce reduction, so be careful unless you use a premium ball. This is probably my biggest ace maker, biggest overall wind strike used for all sorts of situations. I know most people like to double that bounce reduction. I think the bounce reduction is a little too much, and most of the time I'd rather double the Conspiracy, have as much wind resistance as possible, and I oftentimes pair this with Electro balls. I've had a lot of Electro ball aces. I've had a lot of Earth hardcore balls, mostly Earth and hardcore, unless I'm goofing around with Electros. But this still has really good bounce reduction. I just don't think you need. I think Conspiracy is more important. The wind is so much easier to calculate the lower it is. So this is probably my best bag, my favorite bag. Moving on to the Fusion bag. For those that have played the in-house tournament, or if you use the classic Fusion bag, there's probably better ways to use like Flashpoint and stuff now, but Fusion's definitely a good one. Definitely a good bag. This I keep open for like bag restricted tournaments and stuff. I like to have a flex bag that I can just put together anything if I need to. The Sun Mag bag is lovely. If you've never used this specific bag, it helps to have mags all the way up. But Sunstorm really boosts Magnesis. And if you really are worried about the wind, then you can add Conspiracy. What I would do if I wanted to add Conspiracy is probably, if I don't need that much distance, move Meteor left of Magnesis, and then put Conspiracy on this side, so that way you still double the mag. Sun Mag is a classic good bag. You only need these 4 unless you want to add Conspiracy if you're worried about the wind. Then we get to the high flight bags. Now I have 3 high flight bags. The first is, it can reach a little bit farther over the 200 meters if you use this one. I try to pair this with an Earth or hardcore because it'll bounce a lot more than what I like. But this will cut the wind down a ton. Having that Ember there just to help a little bit with the power. I use this one on occasion for some of those par 3s that my favorite high flight bag, which we'll get to in a second. If I can't reach, then I might use this with like a hardcore or Earth ball. This is the long one, the long high flight bag, doubling Ember. Gives me 28 power. I mean, you might not reach most par 4s, but it's good for those long par 3s, maybe short par 4s. Same thing though, I'd probably pair this with like an Earth ball, but this is my favorite par 3. Shout out to B-Man, who gave me this bag. I probably have Other than the Windstrike bag, because I've used it for longer, this High Flight bag is like my go-to par 3 bag. I can hit it most of the time. No spin required. Just drive with High Flight. Have that top of that blue aiming circle just at the pin so it can roll forward. Has a lovely roll with no spin required. Love this one. Favorite, probably my second favorite bag behind that, the classic Windstrike bag. For the ones that High Flight can't reach, and I don't feel like using a premium ball, Blacksmith is amazing. Little bit of forward spin. This thing sits nicely. And it has the same structure as our Leviathan bag, just Blacksmith instead of that one. Going back to, yeah, Blacksmith, and then we're back to Hot Streak. So all of these are really lovely. I'm gonna try to play the Clash with my mouse. Keep in mind, I play on my phone with my thumb. It's a lot easier to do it that way. Personally, mouse and key, you would think it's a little more precise, but it's actually less precise for some reason. You can't fine tune your shots nearly as much as you can with like your thumb or like an iPad or something like that. So I'm actually at a disadvantage using mouse and key right now, but we're gonna try it. I think what I'm thinking on this first one is probably either Hot Streak, which is great. I don't know if I can ace it with Hot Streak though. I'll probably use Hot Streak on this one just to show you like my line, but it's really dangerous with that water on the right. What I probably will end up doing is I think my classic Windstrike one could reach. I think because of how close I am to the boundary, I'll do it twice. I'll do it one with Hot Streak, and then I'll play through this one more time. I'll try. I haven't tested this one. I think this will reach with like a Earth Ball maybe. The downside is I need to re-up on my Earth Balls. I'm really low. We're gonna try the Hot Streak first. It might not go well, but we're just testing some things out. For those where it's 5 o'clock somewhere, cheers to you. Okay, so with Hot Streak, you actually are okay to shoot over this little gap. What I might do is inch it just a bit. Not really too much. I don't want to lose too much distance, but I know that the wind is coming at me from left to right, so I'm probably just going to do a slight... My mouse is going to be really bad. Sometimes this mouse also is trigger happy, and it likes to let go when I don't mean to. This is roughly the shot I'm aiming for. It's not I mean, it's perfect in the shot, but again, you're a lot more accurate with your thumb than you are with this. Oh, okay. Not bad. You can get pretty close that way. It's also a little bit glitchy sometimes when you're, yeah, see, it's a little harder to hit sometimes. Get a little bit of input lag with this app that I'm using to play on my PC. This one is definitely, the second one is definitely one that I will opt for my Windstrike. Windstrike can reach this easily, par 4, obviously. We're gonna use this one. I'm really hoping that the Clash has the front-facing pin and not the pin that we're at right now, but for the sake of argument, I'm gonna go with a hardcore ball, and we're just gonna... I really like the forward pin. I don't have to worry about calculating this, but see how the mouse just like... It's awful. It's jumping between... So I'm way less accurate on stream unless I use my phone. But we'll see how this goes. I don't expect any of this Clash practice stuff to be perfect because I would never play a Clash on my mouse and key. But you can still get, even with mouse and key, I can still get within 10. I'll see, yeah. Let's chalk that up to the mouse being... We'll pretend like we made that one. It's just the Clash practice. I'm on a laggy version of the game. Now this par 3, for sure, 100% gonna go with my favorite high flight bag. It's within 190-ish yards. I can get that wind down. Favorite high flight roller. Again, shout out to B-Man for this setup. This is a life-changing bag. I'm so much more confident on all par 3s, and I don't need to rely on like other stuff. See, I can't get the... Yeah, this is exactly why. I can't get the aim to be perfect with a mouse. It's like either one click over and you're not centered, one click over that way, you're not centered. I might have to compensate by trying to adjust that, maybe? Get that center line out of there. It's not gonna... This might not be an ace at all, but the goal here with this bag is to line up. Come on. A little bit more, maybe. I am totally finagling this. Yeah, see, it's not in line at all. This is awful. I have to do some real... You shouldn't have to angle your shot at all, but this might work. So the top of the blue aiming circle's right around where the pin is. I might go one more up. There we go. It should... Maybe one more up. It should bounce and roll. Oh, boy. Yep. You get the idea. It has a nice little roll to it after, and it rolls either right up to the blue circle edge, or sometimes, if you're lucky, a little bit farther. But again, this is just to prove the concepts. This is not... I'm not going to be able to demonstrate this very well on a mouse and key, because the aiming's terrible. I don't know how I want to approach this one. I can show you what I typically do for this hole. It's not perfect, but it works. We'll go with a wind strike. I'm trying not to use premium balls on this clash practice. I don't like to attack this straight on. I kind of go with this weird angle, and maybe I'll pull back on a hard backspin and hope that I can have it bounce and get a little close. We'll go right around there. The point here is that it pulls back, it'll bounce, and then it might be too much, but yeah, too much. That's okay. And this looks so much more different on a stream setup. But just to show you my approaches, now see, this is where my high flight bag that I just showed you, it's too far. It's 228. I'm not going to reach it with that. What I would do instead is probably, lately I've been feeling the safest with the blacksmith bag. If you are comfortable using magnesis, you can. On this hole, I don't really like to, but I could go for the high flights with the Ember. I'm less confident in these ones with Ember. I would rather just go with blacksmith, and I'll show you no premium ball. You'll see the bounce reduction is amazing. Slight top spin. It's gonna bounce a little bit to the right anyway, so we'll... Oh. I mean, if I hit a perfect point, I guess the point here is you'll see the bounce reduction. It's gonna be too far to the right, but it bounces so nicely and you can roll it. What I need to do is to figure out how to cast using my phone as the play device. I might be able to, but I haven't figured that out yet. Now this last one, hole 18, the smarter play is to use like Sky Fury or something with like a Maverick ball to go, or whatever, to go through trees. Or actually, what you could do, I end up just using Fusion on this like an idiot, but this one is tough. What I could do is take out Maelstrom and add Seeker. So my shot will go through the tree. We're going to try this. I'm going to test it though with like a hardcore. Now I know the shot's going to go through the tree. All I got to do is give it a little forward spin love, hopefully, just to get it over. That'd be sick if this goes in. Yeah, a lot more spins needed for something like Sky Fury. Maybe a hard topspin. But that's it. That's kind of my approach to it. Obviously, I'm going to be able to shoot better than this on my phone, but the goal, my definite goal for this clash that I'd recommend is always aim to ace these par threes. They should be aceable, especially this first one. But in the clash level that we're at, you have to look at par threes as a must ace, and then hopefully getting one of the fours or one of the fives. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is up there. So I'd replay plenty of times. And that's kind of it. Again, I just wanted this to be a short video, so people can go back and watch my bag explanations, maybe see how I approach this clash. It's not gonna be perfect, of course, with the constraints of mouse and key, but the points are still there. So hopefully this helps. Feel free to reach out on Discord. I can send you some more tips, some more lines. Always happy to test out some stuff. If you have other good approaches for certain holes that maybe I haven't thought of, I'm willing to test them out. So good luck in the clash. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, and we will see you next time.